Welcome, Spartans, to Mission Debrief. We're playing every mission in the mainline Halo video game series in chronological order, discussing our experiences and sprinkling in a little lore along the way. If you'd like to play along and have your thoughts read on the show, email us at podcastevolved@gmail.com or drop us a tweet at podcastevolved on Twitter. We'll be playing the Savo Highway mission from Halo 3 on the next episode. This episode, we're debriefing the Crow's Nest mission from Halo 3. I'm your host, Colin Perkins, alongside David Arnold.
Hello, everybody.
And Krysta Brown.
Guys, what's the password?
I
I don't even know what the password is.
Okay.
All right, last mission, Sierra 117. Having finally arrived on Earth, John 117 fled the Dreadnought as the ship entered the Earth's atmosphere. He cratered into the East African jungle, where Sergeant Johnson's Marines scraped him out of the dirt, put him through a brief concussion protocol, and reintroduced him to the Arbiter as an ally. The team set out through the jungle to fight through Covenant forces and reconvene with UNSC Command. This mission, after a quick reunion with Miranda Keyes, Truth interrupts the UNSC strategy session to taunt his adversaries. The Covenant have found their location and quickly storm the bunker from multiple entry points. Forced to evacuate, Chief and the Marines rig the facility with a bomb so they can make an explosive exit. Date of the game is November 17th, 2552. So we just got picked up, and now we're getting into the bunker. David, do you just want to kind of take us through this opening cutscene here?
Yeah, this cutscene's pretty cool. So it takes place right after the previous mission. It has the Pelican landing in this underground kind of base. It has a cool intro of like this Pelican kind of landing in this underground kind of area while these like other Marines are kind of looking out in the kind of area. It reminds me kind of a scene from Star Wars. Where the kind of ship comes in and lands at a base. I thought it was kind of cool. The Pelican comes in and lands down, and then there's like this cool moment of like the Spartan is kind of John is walking out, and there's all these other like Marines going like, "Oh my God, it's a Spartan! We're safe!
Yeah.
We're safe!" And there's a guy with like completely bandaged up face. He's like, "You guys, where? What? You guys better not be lying to me!"
Yeah.
Thought it was cool. And then there's some great looks of like, as the Arbiter walks down the corridor, like Marines like throwing them looks and be like, "Oh my God!" Do you know what I mean? Because obviously this is super new that the elites are now with humanity because a great schism has happened and whatnot. They essentially walk in and meet up with Miranda, and there's kind of like a cool moment of like, she goes, "Where did you find them?" And Johnson's like, "Napping out back." I thought it was pretty cool. And then they all kind of welcome him back, and then they go onto a screen, a conversation with Lord Hood to connect in. They have like a plan that what they're gonna. It's been like a month, and like all of Truth's kind of all his forces are like here and in Africa digging under New Mombasa, which we kind of knew from Halo ODST of what was kind of going on. But obviously canonically we didn't know that yet because this game, well, whatever, ODST hadn't come out yet.
Yeah.
So then we're getting, okay, the Covenant are all here. All their forces are committed to this one place on Earth. There's still a battle going on. They're still fighting. Humanity does not have a whole lot of ships left. So Lord Hood is like, we have a plan. We're going to take out some of their batteries and punch through and go for like a low level strike against Truth forces and where they're digging. And
take
then
out the AA guns.
Take out the AA guns, yeah. So now they think they have Master Chief. They think, yes, we have a chance for this plan to go through. Then Lord Hood gets cut off mid-speech. The power goes, and it's a big... And then Truth comes on. And then he has a great speech. I don't remember all of it now, but he's pretty much saying humanity's going to burn and die, and you're all dead, and it says not even your demon can help you.
Yeah.
Which Master Chief takes note of, and then once the speech is over and power comes back on, Master Chief goes, "Does he always mention me by name?" And then Miranda obviously figures it out and goes, "Okay, yeah, we have to evac right now. We're about to get attacked," because he knows that Master Chief is there.
Yep.
And that's pretty much it. She has she says we're getting all there's a terrible line of dialogue she has.
Oh, yeah. Come on.
I hate it every
you
time.
have to say it.
Okay.
Where do you want us to go?
Yeah, so there's like, she's like, we're getting everybody out, all the wounded, start the evac, and then she's like, tell everybody to meet at rally point, whatever, and then a guy comes on the mic, he's like, oh hey, Commander, we want to know, they're asking where do we go, where do we regroup, and she's like, to war.
Cock gun
like,
to war. Then they're like, no, seriously, we're really scattered. We need some direction.
Where do we go? Yeah.
Worst commander
so then the kind
ever.
of game starts.
All right, so I'm gonna jump in here. Yeah, that line's bad, but I'm gonna jump in here, and Truth has a different voice actor, and I loved the Halo 2 Truth so much.
Yeah, I've never noticed
so much.
I've never noticed.
There's such an iconic voice. Now this Truth has an iconic voice too, and he and I don't have the voice actor's name in front of me, but he's also a well-known actor and voice actor. It's just different, and so it's very jarring if you go from Halo 2 to Halo 3. And I guess his delivery is a little bit different too. So maybe the writing would have been the same with the other actor. I think it's Michael Wincott is his name, from Halo 2. But the delivery is different, and so it just feels different to me. And again, I'm a big fan of that villain in general, Truth. And then Miranda Keyes has a different voice actor too.
Never noticed that either.
And yeah, and she's more I don't know, bland, or just not as, her voice is less dynamic. So I don't think that this voice actor is fine, but I prefer both Halo 2 voice actors to
sorry,
these.
You're right. Michael Wincott is Halo 2 and Terrence Stamp is Halo 3. The change was due to the fact that Wincott chose not to reprise his role in Halo 3.
Yep.
Oh,
And and Julie Benz was the voice actor for Miranda in Halo 2, and it sounded like they didn't ask her back for some reason. They wanted I think what I read was they wanted a voice actor with an accent, which this voice actor doesn't have an accent at all, so I'm not sure what happened there. Anyway,
it seems weird because definitely when they were redoing Halo 2, they doing all the cutscenes, they have a face model, and I'm pretty sure she's the same voice actress.
No, that face actor is different from the Halo 2 anniversary. Yeah.
Okay. Apologies.
Yep. She's a different. She just did the face, and then she did all like the
mocap.
Mocap stuff. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. All right. So now we're going to war. Which, hey, we've been at war for a while there, but anyway. So now this mission is a lot of back and forth. We go out and we come back, and we go out, and we come back. Sometimes there are different routes in here, so apologize if I kind of get lost a little bit along the way, but I will do my best. The first thing that we're supposed to go do is
get the skull.
Need to go save. Well, get the skull. That's right. Good point. So the skull is, where is it, Krysta? It's in the rafters?
So what you do is you go all the way to the back door on the upper level, and then there's like a wire gun cabinet. You jump onto that, and then there's this like a kind of rusty, kind of orangey beam, and you jump onto that. Then right next to it is a cylindrical, it looks like a air vent, like a concrete air vent or something. You jump under that, and then you walk towards the screens that Lord Hood was just on, and at the very end of that cylindrical concrete air vent is the skull.
Yep. And that one is the Black Eye skull.
And just go around and murder people with it. Don't pick up anything else.
You pop a Chivo there, and then the other cool thing about this room, it's a cool little ops center. They call it the ops center throughout all the screens, and they have some cool little maps and things like that with like where the Covenant is attacked and things like that. So it's good to kind of wander around this area. You don't have to immediately go and secure the defenses, which is what it wants you to do right away.
It's funny, there's one in here that has a throwback to the Microsoft blue screen of death of like when your PC breaks, there's one or two of them
funny.
that have the WAC kind of code across it. Thought that was funny.
Yeah, that's good.
I saw that today.
It feels so. This area is, I don't know. I struggle with this mission. It feels, because of the back and forth, I think it kind of hurts it for me. It's not one of my favorite missions from Halo 3, but there's a lot.
Yeah,
there's a lot to do, and in my community question, it seems like people do enjoy it. So maybe it's just some weird thing for me, but it feels like you are in this bunker, right? They do a really good job of setting that feeling throughout, all the rock and kind of the dirt, and like there's water dripping in and things like that. So the first thing that you do is you follow Marine down the stairs, and you need to you get to this big area that you'll come back to eventually, but lots of Marines just kind of hanging out, and you hear some cool dialogue. Weapons. Yeah, you gotta pick. That's right. You gotta pick out your weapons that you want. Yep, there are weapons all over the place here. So what did you guys roll with? That's a good question.
I went AR, and I dual wielded some SMGs.
Oh, nice.
And I can great fun with those actually. But again,
Are those
it's
good for the
normal
drones?
difficulty. They were amazing.
Yeah, I bet. I
cleaned
don't think I've
up.
touched a SMG yet.
It's
Nice.
better
Krysta,
than the
what do you think?
BR. Or not the BR, the AR.
No.
It's better than
Ooh,
the AR.
No. Air is so good.
No, it's dumb.
The air looks so good.
It looks very good in this
Sexy-
game. It makes a stupid
sexy
like
gun.
sponge sound though, like people are just throwing sponges against the wall.
Yeah. It's like a really fast drum roll.
I picked up a battle rifle and just one SMG, so I could switch back and forth.
Nice. Yeah, I definitely did AR. I think I did AR BR. That's kind of usually my go-to. A little close range and a little long range. I'll grab a shotgun every once in a while, but all right. So we're kind of go up this little area here, these stairs. You get some banter here and there from some of the Marines, which is always good. Sets the atmosphere a little more, and then we're kind of going through these tunnels here to then find the encounter. And when you open the door, so you actually have to hit X to, by a little button. So sometimes I do remember it more so when I played this first time. I was like, okay, where am I supposed to go? Am I supposed to there's no door opening. Where do I go? So you have to get in front of the actual button, and then the little prompt will pop up for you to hit X to open the door. When you do finally get into what is the big tunnel area? I feel like it's like a vehicle tunnel or something like that.
It's
That's where
some
you
kind of
first start seeing
transportation
people.
tunnel, I think.
Yeah. So you get to that and you see a warthog blow up right away. Pretty much, there's some Marines on a warthog shooting at some grunts, and now we get into the action. Now we're kind of going down this big tunnel here and just chucking grenades and using whatever weapons you picked in the previous spot, and just kind of getting after it here. So this area you come back to a lot, and so maybe that's part of my frustration on this mission, is because it's just easy for me to get lost and be like, where am I now? What's going on? I feel like I've been here before. Oh yeah, I actually have been here before. So I don't know. Do you guys have that same feeling at all throughout this mission, or are you?
Yeah, there's a lot of backtracking here, but I actually enjoyed
Yeah,
it.
I don't really ever have any problem with it, just because even when you're going back into the same area, they put a very different encounter in the same area. Because I think this tunnel at one time has like grunts on turrets and stuff like that, so it kind of changes up how you go through it.
Yeah, that's true. The Miranda does pop on the comms here and says that so we need to secure the perimeter, but then she also says specifically you need to go clear the hangar. So that's where you're headed now.
Before you leave the tunnel, though, this is where the red versus blue Easter egg is.
Yeah,
Yes.
I was going to say there's a few kind of random things you can find Gunnery Sergeant Stacker or Reynolds in 3 different places in a short amount of time. They don't accompany you throughout the base, but they're there. Funnily, the rats can be seen scurrying across the floor.
You can murder
They appear
them.
on your motion tracker as yellow dots, i.e. friendlies. If you kill them,
Oh.
or even if you melee their dead bodies, you can mess with them. If you turn against the Marines, the rats turn from red dots on your motion tracker,
Really?
which I thought was funny. Yeah. I thought that was awesome. That was a kind of random piece of trivia. But yeah, like I said, many of the Marines are the same models with different voices throughout the cutscene and throughout this mission. There's a lot of Nathan Fillion in here. Also, the Marines in the barracks kind of keys will pilot a Pelican to evacuate them. If you look closely, you'll see that she's holding the controls of a Pelican. She's actually holding the controls of a Hornet, which is kind of funny. But like I said, the password the password lacking Marine.
Yeah.
So there's an argument between 2 Marines that is actually voiced by various different voice actors depending on your level of difficulty.
So you need to go right instead of left.
No,
If
what you
go
do
right,
is you
isn't it?
go past the room you're supposed to go into all the way to the end of the hallway.
Oh, that's what it is. Okay, sorry. Continue. David, you can continue with
me?
overview.
Okay. So each time the character is voiced by a different red versus blue actor. On easy and normal, it is Jason Sadina, which is Tugger, and Halloum, which is Sarge or Doc. On heroic, it's Jeff Ramsey, Griff, and Gus Dalvo Sorolla, which is Simmons. On legendary, it's Bernie Burns, which is Church, and Joel Heyman, which is
And they're
Caboose.
all in character
other
too. It's really
Yeah.
hilarious.
The character models for the Marines change as well, and he's a normal. The Marine is usually a radio operator. So sometimes the glitch will occur based on different difficulties, so you might actually be hearing the legendary one while you're playing heroic or something like that. It might glitch out. There's a reference to episode 21, Motion to Adjourn, where Simmons tells Griff that he is an ammo holder Griff is later told that he shouldn't be asleep during staff meetings, so he would know his assignments in various different pieces. There's a reference to episode 78, where you can't park here, where Church is attempting to get Blue Base to kill Tucker's alien baby, and Doc stops him, saying, "Well, no, I'm definitely not letting you in." But Doc Mahum is trying to keep the aliens' brutes out. It's also a joke for the legendary version, which is a reference to Sarge making a password, an access code, and code word. So,
it's so amazing. If
cool.
you are a Halo fan and you haven't sat down and watched Red versus Blue, go ahead and watch it. It's so funny. And they just keep adding more Red versus Blue references as the Halo games go on. I know Halo 4 had a bunch of them.
I've finally started watching a little Red versus Blue.
Oh, it's amazing.
Just as I sit down and like build some mega constructs or something like that, I'll just kind of have it in the background, so I'm absorbing some of the dialogue.
Caboose is the best.
It's just a lot. It's kind of overwhelming at this point, being so far behind. And so
I totally agree with you.
Keep putting off, and there's like what 15 seasons or something crazy. Like there's a lot. So
the first couple seasons are only like an hour long, though. I think like the first 5 seasons are very short.
Right, but still, that means there's a ton. I mean, there's a lot of hours to watch, which is good. It's fun and it's funny, but yeah, I just need to carve out time in my free time to sit down and watch them. But they're very good, very, very good. All right, so you can kind of go past the door that you're supposed to go into to get all that sort of stuff and that fun dialogue. Definitely do that. There's no achievements, I don't believe.
No, it's just a fun little Easter egg.
Yeah. So then head back and go through the door that you were supposed to go through, and this just kind of like this little tunnel area with some brutes and some grunts and some jackals at the end here. So make your way through it, and it looks like you're almost like in this, I don't know, is it like a vent area maybe or something like that? You pass something that looks like a big I don't know, wind fanned. Anyway, so then you do get to the hangar spot, and this is where you see some phantoms off in the distance, and this is a cool little encounter here. You're supposed to repel the phantoms in the Covenant that they drop off. There's
some cool amount of turrets here. Yeah,
there's two turrets, one on the right, one on the left. So they're kind of on different levels here. But you can man one on the harder difficulties. They do usually come and flank you and kill you, so you kind of have to rip it off at some point. But you can sit at that turret for quite a while usually and take out a lot of the turrets. David, do you take the left turret or do you take the right turret, David?
I actually got there was 2 turrets on the left for me when I came in. One above the other. Yeah, it was weird. I remember them being on 2 different sides, but I had 2 on the left today. So I took a left one, and I just cleaned up shop because I was on normal, so it was quite easy.
Yeah.
And the harder difficulties, you have to be careful when the phantoms come in. When the turrets, they can totally demolish you. So you got to try and take out the turret as soon as the phantom comes in, and then focus yourself on the troops as they drop down. There's also some prime moments for some grenade lobbing. You get a good grenade as the troops all, because they all come down more or less in one kind of big group.
Yep.
So there can be some good fun here.
Yeah, Krysta, what do you do?
At the very, very top of this area, there's a kind of like a control booth that has a bunch of ammo. So I always stock up on ammo. And this time I got on the left turret, and I just stayed on the left turret the entire time. I never got killed on it.
Oh, nice. Even on heroic.
Yeah, even on heroic. I was able. Like David said, the key thing is to shoot the turrets off the phantoms, and then you're fine. You're pretty much good. Sometimes
I'll miss a grunt or two, and they'll kind of sneak up because they will charge you and walk all the way up, and so then I'll have to pop off, or maybe I'll panic and just rip the turret off. So usually I end up ripping that turret off and just kind of wandering around. There's 2 in there, so you're good on ammo usually, and if not, just drop it and clear out the area. It's not too difficult of a spot, mainly because there's lots of cover, and they're really all just kind of coming in from one area.
Also, I believe if you're playing single player, when the Pelican comes, Arbiter leaves you at this point. I think he's with you up until now, and then he gets in the Pelican and leaves, and he comes back later in the mission.
I never noticed.
Oh, yeah, because there is the Pelican there that picks people up.
Yeah.
That's right. That makes sense. All right, so we clear out the area, and then we got to head back to the Ops Center because they have a little surprise for you, I think,
Ooh,
right?
I love surprises.
Mm-hmm. But on the way back, you deal with some drones, and there's actually a cool little one of those scenes, we've talked about it before, where the game is kind of doing things without you. So there's a drone that picks up a Marine right in front of you, and you can save him, or I guess I think I've always saved him. I don't know if he's ever died or not for me, but during this playthrough I saved him, and then he actually then kind of joins the fight, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, there's a cool quote here that Nathan Fillion actually gets to do in terms of this is actually Sergeant Stacker. Reynolds will say, "Take him down, short control bursts." This may be a reference to aliens, which is there's loads of aliens references throughout the game and stuff like that, which is kind of cool.
Also, the amount of drones in this room is ridiculous.
There's so many.
There's so many, and they're all on that far wall.
And I had a problem. The door doesn't open until you clear out all the drones.
Yeah.
And sometimes they'll just stick to the wall and they won't do anything.
You'll think they're dead or something.
Yeah, exactly. So I had to move my reticle over them to see which one it turns red on so that I can actually shoot them. But yeah, there's so many. There is a turret in this room too.
Is there?
Yeah, as you're kind of going into this room, looking down to the left, there's like a rock that you can kind of jump on top of, and there's a turret up there, so you can grab that bad boy.
Oh, that's good to know.
Yeah, that'll clean up a lot of them. You do have to move though, so you do have to rip it off, because if you just stay there stationary, as soon as they see you, then everybody will start shooting their little plasma pistols at you, and they'll take you out pretty quick. So you can stay there for a little bit. I guess you don't have to rip it off, but you'd have to back out and then hop back on it.
I get you.
Yep. So yeah, like I said, the door does not open until you reach the bottom, and then now we just kind of go back up where we were, and what's going on here? There's a giant bomb. Yeah, so they Miranda and the UNC have decided, all right, well, we're just gonna blow this whole place up and hopefully take out as many Covenant as we can. Plus, they're probably protecting the intel and everything. They don't have enough time to pack up all the computers, so they're just gonna destroy the whole thing. Yeah, and Miranda at this point is on the big screen. Do we see Miranda? She doesn't fight alongside us anymore, I don't think.
No, she doesn't.
She's gone. Yeah, she's off in a Pelican somewhere else in a safe zone. So now where do we go from here? I'm trying to think here.
Now we go to the bunkers, right? Because Marines are getting killed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, constantly over the comms you hear like keys going like, "Give me a sit rep from the bunker. Anyone in the bunker?
Can someone deliver me a calzone, please?"
Yeah.
They're like, "Okay, I guess I have to go to the pizza shop and get him a calzone."
So this is the part, I think you follow Johnson up to the top here, and then now this is like the brute tunnel, what I call it.
Yeah.
And it's just a big, long, narrow, like stairwell, and it's well designed because you can approach it a lot of different ways, but there's just a ton of brutes.
Grenades
down
are your
this
friend.
hallway.
Yeah.
Also, if you've noticed, kind of in the middle of the kind of ramp leading up to the brutes, there are grav lifts.
Grav lifts. Yeah.
So if you want to get up onto the top level and take them out from there, it's actually a really good method.
Oh, okay. I don't think I've done that. I usually kind of hang back a little bit and just. So there's that. I don't know what you call it. That kind of shielded thing.
Yeah, the deployable shield.
Well, it's not a deployable shield. It's like it's a UNSC cover.
Yeah.
So you can kind of hide behind it. And
yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah. They're just
it's
like
not a cover. It's not a
Covenant.
Covenant. Yeah. So you can kind of stand in between that and use that for a little bit of cover. The once the brute shots kind of come through, they will start to they'll take you out. So you can't just stay there the entire time. But there's just so many brutes. It's crazy how many brutes they shove into this area. And then of course there's a chieftain at the very top, he'll charge you. I feel like it's almost random. If you hang back, he usually won't do anything. But if you get far enough up, then he will. He'll come and just kind of destroy you at some point with his giant hammer. Because there's not a lot of area. I get caught on the environment a lot because there's like a truck in the middle and there's like some just stuff all over the room. And so if I'm like trying to back up and I get caught on something, then I'll get smashed in the face. Not a good feeling. David, are you? So what do you do, David? How do you approach this area?
What I did today, like I definitely ran up and died a few times.
Oh, yeah.
Because I was trying to sneak
No shame.
attack because there's like some brutes aren't looking at you; they're looking at a chieftain, kind of giving a speech.
Yeah, which is
so
cool.
Yeah, so I tried to run up and like hit, kind of assassinate one or two of them quick, and then I died straight away. So I was like, oh, that's not a good idea.
Oh, you went all the way up. Okay.
Yeah, I went all the way up, and then I was like, okay, no. So then I started throwing grenades. I kind of stickied a few guys, and then kind of slowly kind of worked my way back. There is some ammo crates in behind some of the broken down vehicles, so you can kind of refresh. I grabbed the shotgun, Halo 3 shotgun. It sucks.
Yeah, it does.
It does.
It takes a couple shots, doesn't it?
Yeah, it has a very small clip, and
Mm-hmm.
it's kind of hard. You have to really be like in melee distance to do anything with it, really.
On
Yeah.
heroic,
It's
it
kind of
takes like
disappointing.
4 shots to down a brute.
Oh, and then you have to reload,
Yeah,
which
it's
is kind of pointless. So
ridiculous.
like, it's not great. So I used that for a little bit, and then I eventually took out the chieftain by a bunch of grenades. And then I picked up his hammer, and then I had a crap ton of fun with the hammer in the next couple
so
of
good.
sequences. Yeah.
Yeah, I did that too. Eventually picked up that hammer. Krysta, do you hammer much?
Not really. I usually don't like getting that close. So I don't usually... I like the energy sword better because it has the lunge, so you can still be fairly far away and then lunge in. And then find an enemy farther away and then lunge out. So for this room, it took me a couple tries, actually. Especially on heroic. It's really brutal.
Ooh, very nice.
I threw a bunch of grenades and was able to kind of get the ones that are closer to you, because there's like 4 or 5 of them in that kind of pile. Then there's a huge pile at the back of brutes. So I got the first kind of couple in the front, and then I got the grav lift, went up, and then the chieftain didn't actually charge me for a while, so I was able to pick off like almost every single one with a BR. Until maybe...
Yeah, he hangs back till the end.
Yeah, until maybe
if
there
you
were...
don't engage him directly.
Until there were like
I've
2...
had him charge.
If there were like 2 brutes left, and then he charged me, and I was able to take him out before he even got close to me, because I was on the far side of the upper part of the room. And then I was pretty much done.
Yeah. Nice.
I mean, the brutes here, they throw the solar flare, which is
it's
real
so
annoying.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
So that
that's
just blinds you, right? That doesn't do
Yeah, it's a
anything
new
else?
piece of equipment. No, it just blinds you.
So
doesn't
there's a
seem to
couple
have-
new pieces of equipment that we didn't talk about last mission. There's that, and then there's
Yeah.
the deployable cover, which we mentioned but didn't talk about.
I actually
Yeah,
was...
the deployable cover shows up.
I actually killed the chieftain fast enough to actually get his invincibility as well.
Oh,
And then
nice.
instantly accidentally hit the button to deploy.
Oh, no.
That's my life.
How long does that last?
It's about maybe 30 seconds.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
pretty good.
it's enough to get you to cover if you're getting low on health.
Nice. Yeah, I found like this room in particular. I was staring at my health, I guess my shield regenerator a lot. I was like, okay, come on, come back. I have to back up and wait. Hope that the brutes didn't charge me. Hope that I had some shield left to proceed. But yeah, we clear out this room here, and then we kind of go through. There's lots of dead Marines around, which is super sad. They're all over the place.
Yeah.
And you can, pay homage, press F along
Have
the way.
to pay respects.
To grieve.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And then we're kind of digging through, and there's actually, you kind of reach a point where there's a, up ahead, there's like rocks that have fallen and blocked off where you can go. And then you kind of drop down, and now you're kind of in the air ducts, it looks like, anyway. And Cortana pops on here. Let's see here, do I have the quote? Where is it? Cortana says that you've been called upon to serve, is what she says. Yeah.
And that is actually directly from, in probably like the very beginning of Halo Fall of Reach, Halsey has a speech to the Spartan candidates, and that's one of the first lines she says.
Gotcha. So now we're in the air ducts, and you're heading. Actually, you see some drones flying back and forth, which is kind of cool. They're flying in and out of the air ducts, which makes sense, I guess, for that alien race.
Yeah.
And then a couple of them do finally pop out, and you got to deal with them before you can go much further. You can't really climb into the air ducts. There's nothing to do. I mean, you can, but there's nothing to do there. So it's cool that they actually made it so you could go inside, but they don't lead anywhere that I know of anyway.
And also, if you jump over the like places the drones are coming out, you can also avoid an encounter with them.
Oh, you can.
Yeah, you don't have to fight them here.
Because they don't see you.
Yeah.
Then? Oh, that's cool. All right, so then now we find another skull. So at the very end, instead of jumping off all of the way, you can just kind of like, if you look down at the drop off, you can see an arrow pointing backwards, and you kind of just edge off a little bit and then kind of angle your body inside and kind of get underneath where you just were. And there is a skull. Is it like on a mattress or something like that? I don't know. There's a little area. There's a skull, and that's the Grunt birthday party skull.
Yay!
Which is great. So turn that on. Have you ever played? That's just like for one mission for fun with co-op, right? Like, you never play the campaign with that whole thing on, do you?
With the skull?
Grunt birthday party. With Grunt birthday party on, like, have you ever played the entire campaign with Grunt birthday?
Oh my
party?
god, Colin! I have not played Halo without it on ever.
Yeah.
Really?
Once I get it, I switch it on and it's on permanently.
Yeah.
No
Same
way.
Same here.
Yeah.
I always have Grunt birthday party, and I would have been your daddy on.
Yeah, totally. They're like the best skulls. You have to play the game with those skulls.
Yeah, they make me really happy. It just makes me really happy.
And it's just the headshots, right, for the Grunt birthday party?
It just goes the yay.
Okay. It makes you feel good. Okay.
Not to be confused with Grunt Funeral, which is like another skull
that one's really
that
bad.
causes grunts to explode like plasma when they die.
Yeah, you put that on. You put the one that makes the blast radius bigger, and then you put on Pinata, which is if you melee someone, they drop grenades, and then you just see a lot of fireworks in Halo Combat Evolved.
Oh boy. Nice. All right, so we drop down, you get the skull, and then you drop down a little further, and Arby's hanging out. He's waiting for you. All right.
And he's shouting at the guys, going like, "Do not believe the prophets." And
he's like, shouting at the drones.
Yeah.
He's like, "Stop! You violated the law."
Do not believe the prophet's lies.
Stop doing what you're doing. They're like, yeah, you know what? Fuck this guy.
They're just drones.
Yeah. It's good, though. It's good to see Arby again here, as you do throughout the entire game, but, kind of link back up with him. And then now we're going to head into the barracks area, which is pretty cool. Actually, you round this you open the door, around the corner, and you see this Marine come flying across the room.
There's like a pile of dead Marines there, too.
Yeah. And smashing into the pillar, and it's kind of sad because really at this point you realize that the majority of the Marines are dead. This whole barracks is well designed, though. It's huge. Like, there's lots of different areas to climb around. You can climb up to the little catwalk area right away, and then you can even at one point you kind of get into the ducts and get like into a third level and hop around. I think it's like all brutes and maybe a couple jackals in this area.
Yeah, it's mostly brutes.
That's about it. Yeah, it's pretty rough. This area is hard.
When you come in, there's like a brute there holding a Marine, and you can kind of save him if you shoot the brute quick enough. Mm-hmm. I ran up with a hammer and killed 2 brutes of the 3 that are here with one blast, and the other guy got knocked back, and he shouted at me, "That was my lover!" and then started killing me, and I had never heard that
I've
piece of
heard
dialogue
that before.
I was like, what the hell? I was not ready for that.
Wait, the brute said that's my lover?
Yeah.
Oh, that's so good.
After I killed another one.
That's why you keep I would have been your daddy on at all times.
All right.
That was hilarious.
From here on forward, I'm turning those 2 on.
Oh my god, dude.
Very nice. This is a tough spot. This is no joke. Harder difficulties. There's lots going on. It's a narrow little area. Again, more brutes to deal with. I feel like I'm more careful here than I normally am. So because you have to kind of, clear out. If I had the hammer still, I do get a little aggressive and move up a smidge. But it's not. What I'll probably do is I'll say I'm just gonna rush this entire area and hammer as many people as I can, and then I end up dying like 3 times in a row, and I'm like, okay, all right, I gotta get back and take my time. Krista, how do you do this area?
I threw a lot of grenades. I ended up having the shotgun and got really angry with it, but I ended up taking them out mostly with grenades, shotgun, and a little bit of BR. Mm-hmm. A little bit of hot BR action.
Because you'd have this initial corridor, and then you bend around, and then you bend around again. So There's a lot of brutes in this area. David, anything to add? I guess any
Well,
other strategies that work?
On normal, when I had the hammer, yeah, I was super aggressive. On the higher difficulties, you gotta use a lot of BR and grenades and take them out from distance. As you said, there's a lot of brutes. They will throw flares and power drains, which we haven't talked about before. They take your shields down.
Does that
This
explode
wipes out your
at some
shield.
point?
Yeah, it wipes out your shield and will explode in a little small explosion. You can die if you're on top of it with no shield, but other than that, it's pretty weak, the explosion itself. But what it does is just instantly drain your shield.
It's really annoying.
Okay.
It's really annoying. It's one of those ones like where this one and the flare, I don't think they have a huge impact when you use them on enemies, which is kind of annoying. But the power drain will wipe down shields essentially. So they'll use that and there'll be some deployable covers and stuff. Eventually you get to a point where there's a turret. I pick it up and use it. There's like a chieftain holding a turret shooting you. I killed him and then picked up the turret.
Yeah.
But on the higher difficulties, you've got to use grenades and use as much. There's loads of ammo in here, so do you know what I mean? Just go wild.
So there's brute grenades that we use in ODST, but I don't think they were in Halo 2.
No, they were not.
They were not.
Yeah, they're pretty rad. So they're little spiky things. They're very brutish, and they essentially
totally
stick
great.
to you, right? Like they stick inside your chest or wherever it hits you.
Yeah, they don't have a big explosion radius, and they're not very good if you don't stick an enemy with it, but they will stick to other surfaces as opposed to a plasma grenade, which won't. So the sticky grenade will like stick to walls and all that kind of stuff. A cool combination to do is deploy a bubble shield and then put a spike grenade inside it and watch all the spikes explode and bounce inside the shield. It's so cool.
Or
so
go
cool.
into a bubble shield that brutes are in and throw one in there and then run away.
Yeah, it's really good for like corridors and stuff like that because the projectiles will bounce a little bit and ricochet. They don't do a whole lot of damage, but they look cool.
Real quick, what's your favorite grenade in Halo, David?
Flame grenade, incinerator grenades.
Oh, okay, yep. Krysta?
Flame grenades.
I don't use that very often, so I'm just gonna say plasma. Plasma is so good. Just the
plasma
classic.
is so good and it's classic.
It is.
Halo CE's frag grenade is an amazing frag grenade. I'll just say that it has an awesome explosion radius.
Yeah,
and it does a good bit of damage.
Yeah. All right, so we clear out this area. We head down. There's hopefully you got a couple Marines along with you, and I think I had 4 maybe here that I able to manage to save or didn't kill myself. Then we got another door to open at the end, and maybe I did grab that turret. I might have grabbed that turret from the brute there at the end and trudged down and just to kind of see what was happening. But yeah, the next area now, this is where you reach the elevator and you go up the big elevator. I feel like I always turn the elevator on too quickly. Do you guys like wait and make sure all the Marines get on, or do you just?
I did this time, but okay. Most of the time I go in and hit the button and I leave everyone behind.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Same.
Do they spawn up on top?
Arbiter does. I don't think the Marines do.
Yeah, I just ditch the Marines all the time. Just like, hey, see you later, bye.
For some reason, I think elevator rides in video games are just hilarious. I get why they're there, but just riding an elevator with random people is just such an awkward thing. And the fact that you have to do that in a video game as well is just another awkward thing for me.
I agree. Stupid.
And like almost every video game, especially like an action adventure game, has an elevator in it of some sort. There's always an elevator ride. And then you like don't know which side's gonna open. You're like, I'm gonna face this way. Nope, the other door is open. Okay, all right. So you gotta flip around. Anyway, so you kind of pop out the top there, and then now this is where the jetpack brutes are.
Yes.
Yeah. There's quite a few of them here, and they kind of come in along the way too. So you kind of got to clear up this area here, and I think this is the evac spot for these Marines too, right? So you got to clear out this spot. Okay.
The Pelican here that's leaving is the one with Miranda Keys in it.
Oh, okay, she's in it. Gotcha.
Yeah, there's a bit of dialogue here of like Johnson saying that the brutes took the control room, but don't wait for me, leave now. So she gets up and leaves.
Okay, I gotcha. Yeah, there's just so much going on, and we've said it before, there's a lot of kind of exposition and dialogue that's going on along the way. When you're focusing on shooting people, you don't always catch it. So, me, and I'm sure you guys do, like I always pod. I play something, I listen to something, and then I like have to write it down, otherwise I'm gonna forget. So just, I mean, in general, you know what's going on, but to get all the individual specifics, you got to play through the mission a bunch, or like literally take notes and see what's going on. All right, so the Pelican comes down. You clear out this area here. I mean, I guess, do you want to talk about jetpack brutes here? They were in, let's see, we saw jetpacks in Halo 2, but we didn't see jetpack brutes in Halo 2.
No, it was only Elite.
No, we didn't. But
It was just
we
elites,
did in
yeah.
ODST.
Yeah.
But, right, yeah. So we've dealt with them there. But like in release orders, that's just a little bit of a different mechanic. But it's cool to see them in jetpacks. And they fly around. I do like the physics is kind of weird, right? Where they're flying around and then you'll shoot the jetpack and they'll just go flying off to one side.
Yeah, that's cool. They've got cool animations here.
Mm-hmm.
And you can find another piece of equipment, the Lotus Mine, which is pretty cool.
Oh, I love the Lotus Mine.
The mine is cool. It rarely works the way I want it to, but I always had great ideas of like planting this mine down and have a vehicle drive over it and all that kind of stuff. But,
right.
They're cool.
But doesn't always work out, right? So is it only a vehicle that will set it off, or can somebody walk across it?
People walk across it as well.
I think you can set it off yourself, can't you?
You can shoot it, I think, yeah. And it'll blow. But I think you want to be on top of it if you want to actually kill them with it.
All right, so now I think we could go a little ways further, and then we got to head back.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay, so now we got to head back to the ops center because the brutes have disabled the bomb. And so now it's your job as Master Chief, because you're the chief. I think everybody's left you at this point, right? Like
everyone
now it's just you.
Pretty sure the base is empty now.
Yeah. So now it's just you. It's like, all right, Chief, thanks for meeting up with us. Here, you go on a suicide mission and blow up the base for us.
Chief's like, okay, I guess.
That would be great. You're like, all right.
Chief is great at this by now. How many times has he gone to a place to blow it up? Set off
and survived.
Bomb. Yeah.
Thank God for that luck.
Damn right.
Yep. So we head back, and now this is where we kind of get back to that tunnel, and you see that there's a grunt like firing a turret off into the side, and you just kind of kill him really quickly and take his turret, and then really just kind of make your way back through this tunnel area. The kind of the end of this tunnel, you kind of bend around, I think, to the left, and then there's 2 turrets there. That, you know, there's just a lot of grunts here in general. So there's a lot of grunts and some jackals to deal with. And then when you kind of reach the opening, that's kind of a pain because there's jackal snipers up top, and then there's 2 more turrets in the back.
Yeah, and they're hard to see. The jackal snipers can kind of see you before you see them. It's kind of tough.
Yeah, and jackal snipers are just weird. We didn't talk about it in the last mission. I think we talked about it in the previous game, ODST. But jackals have this weird animation where you hit them and they kind of double back, and then at least feels like this to me is like I don't feel like I can hit them right away. Like the animation makes them a little bit invincible.
Yeah.
So you kind of have to you have to knock them back and like, you know, get their shield off, and then you have to wait just a little bit until you can finally hit them again. Otherwise, you'll just waste a lot of ammo shooting it at something that you can't really cause any damage to.
I've noticed that too.
Okay, you guys did notice that.
Yeah.
I know we talked about it in ODST, but we haven't talked about it quite yet for this mission. All right, so you do clear that little spot area. You know, I think let's see. Yeah, you just you almost have to clear out those jackals right away. So you kind of get up, and then well, I guess you don't have to, but that was my strategy. Is I kind of like got close enough. There's some grunts off on the side, but I would focus on I think there's 2 jackal snipers up top and try to get them first, and then kind of clear the rest of it out. And then so the part that you get back into, which I thought was interesting, is like, oh, this is the brute tunnel now. This is the tunnel that you previously charged up to kill the chieftain and all those guys. So the bunker is well designed, and at the beginning of the show I kind of mentioned this isn't my favorite mission. I think it just feels, maybe because it feels like it's a small little area that you just kind of keep circling around, but it is, I guess talking through it, it is a big area, and it's a well-designed bunker. Like, it makes sense as a functional bunker, but just all the backtracking kind of bugs me a little bit, so no big deal. That once you get back into the op center, though, there's truth, right? He's on the screen and he's talking to the brutes, which is kind of cool. Do you guys remember what he says to them? He talks about have you found out
what their plans
To
are,
stop me.
what their plan
Yeah.
is to stop us. He's to stop us,
Mhm.
yeah. And then he kind of gives out to the chieftain in terms of like, you hurry up. The chieftain replies, but no hierarch or whatever noble hierarch we haven't found out yet. And he's like, whatever. He gives out to him again for not doing it, and he's like, of course, hierarch. And if you're like me, I just run in straight away and start throwing grenades on people's.
Yeah,
Kicking
grenades
ass.
is the way to go, right? Because you can
Yes.
stick. They're not facing you. You need to stick those grenades.
Because this
in
bad boy has a fuel rod.
Mm-hmm.
You
Oh,
wanna
that guy's
take him out?
bad.
Yeah, he sucks.
So wait,
Yes, he is.
he's in the distance. Can you hit him with a grenade that far? Like he's way down
Yeah.
there. You can.
Yeah.
Dang, nice. I guess I didn't try. I think I died a couple times right away, but I was just trying to figure out like which brute that's. There's like two brutes kind of stationed close to you, like which one to grenade first. I didn't even try for that guy. That was deep. Nice. That makes
And then
sense.
I picked up the fuel rod and I carried it because in my mind there's a very specific sequence coming up which I hadn't used the fuel rod for before, and it was just kind of stupid. And I was like, it's going to be amazing for this one moment, and it was amazing. I recorded it and everything because it was so good.
Oh yeah.
So
Okay.
we'll talk about that in a minute.
All right. Krista, anything else that you do differently?
I was out of like everything at this point, so I had a plasma pistol and I had a shotgun.
That's
I didn't
terrible.
die though.
dang.
I ended up. What I did was I plasma pistoled all of the armor off all the brutes, and then picked up an AR and just kind of cleaned them up that way.
Dang. Nice
Yeah.
work.
It was pretty good.
Very nice. So we clear out the area, and then there's that big old bomb that we just have to rearm. So you smack the button there, hit X, and then so I was having a hard time. Like, when does the bomb go off? Because you go down underneath to escape, but then like the whole building starts to shake.
So what they said is that there's a bunch of little bombs connected
Yeah,
to
this
this bomb.
big bomb is connected to other bombs throughout the bunker.
So they're all timed
Okay.
to
So it's
kinda
not one
go
big
off,
explosion.
not at once, but go off They go off immediately. So
Gotcha. Well, that makes sense then. So yeah, so from here on out, so we're pretty much at the end. We just had to kind of get out, and we are escaping with whatever you have, whatever weapons you have, and all the grunts are like running away from you in panic, which is kind of fun. You can kind of kill them along the way, or you can ignore them. I don't know if they'll probably shoot at you at some point.
if you start
but
killing them, they'll
you can
start
really
shooting you.
Okay, so you can just kind of run away with them. And then, you get back to the vehicle tunnel, which is kind of cool. And I'm guessing that's the point where you use that fuel rod.
Oh, yeah, baby. So I knew this part was coming up, and essentially when you open these doors, these two grunts, and they see you and run away, and then a crap ton of drones fly by,
Yeah.
and if you can leave them and they'll just fly by, or you can attack them. So what I used to do is try and plasma grenade them, and then it goes off in a group of them, but this time I did not. I just emptied the fuel rod into them, and got
nice.
a bajillion kills. It was ridiculous, and it looked glorious, and it was so much fun. It's such a cool moment.
That's good.
Yeah.
Very good. Speaking of, because you're probably playing with some scoring on, I imagine.
Oh yeah. Baby.
I am too, and you're my rival,
Uh-oh.
David. And I think I've only beat you like once or twice on a mission. And I'm like, some of your scores are ridiculously high, and I'm like, that had to be a co-op mission. There's no way.
Well, yeah. Some of them were like deliberately attempts to get power scores. So I had like a billion skulls on, or different bits and pieces. So like I was attempting to get a high score. So it's not me actually playing particularly well. It was me just doing whatever to get the power score achievements.
Yeah, that's what I figured. Yeah, you're like, because I have a running total in my my playlist, and like you're a couple 100,000 points ahead of me.
It's the second mission.
No, but it's for the total though. So like
the
my
total.
total playthrough, like all of the games.
Yeah. Oh wow.
So you're way ahead of me from start to finish. But anyway, I digress. All right, so now we have to escape. So you go through the tunnel there and cause some explosions if you have that fuel rod, which is good fun. Then we eventually make our way back to the called the hangar? Is that where it was? Where the initial where the phantoms were coming at the very beginning?
Yes.
I think,
Yeah, the hangar,
I think
yeah.
that's the hangar. Yeah. So we eventually get back to that big room. There's a couple jackals that maybe try to bother you, but no big deal. You can pretty much just sprint to the back of the area. Off to the right, there is an elevator that you hop on. Smack that button. Start going down. Cortana will pop on here. She'll interrupt you at some point when you're trying to escape. She says there will be a great deal of hardship ahead. And then once you head down the elevator, I think the screen goes black. And then she says, "This place will become your home." And then again, she says, "This place will become your tomb." Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun.
So, yeah. Lots of more Cortana moments to come. But yeah, like I said, this is not my favorite mission of Halo 3. This is one of my probably least favorite. I think it's pretty much all good from here for me. And maybe that's why I don't like it as much, because the rest of the game is so good for me. Where does this level? I guess how do you like this level, Krysta? You're fond of it? Thumbs up?
I've never
overall?
really had a problem with it. I think it's a really nice mission to just kind of sit back and just shoot things, just run around and shoot things. There's a bunch of different guns, and they're everywhere because you're in a bunker. So there's a lot to choose from, and a lot of different ways you can kind of go through the encounters. And the encounters are interesting enough.
Yeah. Yeah, they are. Like you said, there's different approaches, which is really cool. Different ways to go about it. David, you're a fan?
Yeah, I like this mission. I like it a lot. Again, it's the Halo-ness of backtracking doesn't bother me as much in this one. I felt like each scenario was well crafted and well done. They give you different weapons or different kind of setups, different enemies to fight. I quite enjoyed it. It was good fun.
Cool. All right, let's do some community questions, and we will move on. Move on to the next. Move on to Savo Highway, which we could finally get some vehicles.
Oh, that's a fun one.
Yes,
Let's do some Discord.
All right.
Anybody say anything to
So
say?
Colin has asked us a question. He has called us to service.
Colin who, Krysta?
Perkins.
Okay.
He says, what's the best thing about the Crow's Nest mission in Halo 3? Parentheses, the mission where you're in the bunker. Close parentheses. So, Ian says,
No, so just to preface, I've had a hard time. I was going to phrase that, what's the worst thing about the mission? Because I've had a hard time with this mission, but I flipped it, and it ended up having a lot of positive responses. So more people liked it than I thought.
yeah. So, Ian says, going, ... to war. Min says the red versus blue Easter egg, which is great. A lot of people are talking about how amazing the Easter egg is. Redacted 17 says he likes the part where the base explodes. He thinks that's really cool. And that's about it. Now everyone's talking about... XTief 1117 is saying, the best thing about the Crow's Nest is truth speech. Although it is cliche, I liked it more than the Halo 2 truth. I still find it awesome to this day. The delivery by the voice actor is amazing. So take that, Colin.
That's a good one.
And then Redacted 17 says, does he usually mention me? And that's about it.
That's good.
Cool.
David?
Facebook, Colin Perkins posted into the group. Question for mission debrief. What's the best thing about Crow's Nest mission Halo 3? Question mark, open parentheses, the mission where you're in the bunker, close parentheses. It has 1 like by David Arnold.
Wow.
And the comments go as such. Michael Connor, accidentally finding the skull in the room where regret calls you vermin. Oh, and the RVB Easter eggs. Matthew Blankenship says, well, for 1, the old industrial feel of the entire facility is really great. I agree. And for 2, the best part of the mission is the jump pack brew area. Okay, cool.
Yeah, that's fun.
Brad Tharp says there's a lot of good moments in this mission. Hard one, just pick one. If I had to choose, it's the part where you link up with the Arbiter and push through the barracks trying to save and capture Marines. That's pretty cool. I love that too.
Yeah.
I really like sneaking through the air vents in the ceiling and getting the drop on some of the brutes. And then Corey says playing basketball with the skull. That's pretty cool.
So does that mean that you can actually you throw it and then pick it back up?
You can't throw it, you just
yeah.
drop it.
Drop it, like.
Oh, okay.
Like, if you just switch weapon, you'll drop it, like.
Yeah. Alrighty, let's get out of here. That'll do it for our debriefing of Crow's Nest from Halo 3. On the next episode, we'll be covering Savo Highway.
Woo!
Send us your thoughts at podcastevolved@gmail.com or drop us a tweet at podcastevolved on Twitter. Until next time, evolve.
Evolved.
Evolved.